What's up, guys? Matt here with the Bearded Bargain EDC. I've had a little bit of time off around the holidays and got a chance to kind of catch up on some of the EDC hype and different forums and things. And I came across this knife right here, which is from SwissTech. It's the SwissTech Werdig, which has been making waves in the EDC community with both positive and negative attention. Anyway, for Christmas, my son got me this right here. Now, I have plenty of multi-tools. Most of them are Leatherman, and I recently showed off my gift from me to me, which was my Leatherman Arc that I had custom engraved. But my son got me this right here, so I don't care what anybody says about it. This is automatically the absolute best gift and best multi-tool on the planet because it came from my 7-year-old son. That being said, I didn't have high hopes for this thing when I first opened it, but I think I'm proving myself wrong. I've changed my opinion, so I want to dig into this thing because it's got a lot of similarities to a tool that I carried on my belt for years. And if you're on a budget and you're looking for a good quality multi-tool, this I would actually recommend. So let's check it out. All right, so this is the SwissTech Practice, and I had to look that one up online. Thank you to online translation tools. Practice actually means practical. So it is a practical multi-tool by SwissTech. Like I said, this came from my son. It was a gift for Christmas. So automatically, I don't care what the internet has to say about this brand or this tool. It is the best tool that ever existed because it was a gift for my son. That being said, I was pleasantly surprised. And I've already unboxed it. I don't need the box here. I have the actual tool in its holster right here. And the holster feels like leather, but I think it's more of a pleather. It's not the highest end holster, but it works. You can run your belt through it this way. You can run your belt through it this way. If you run a narrow belt, it's a holster. Nothing special about that. When I pulled out the tool, though, for the first time, now it came in the box in an open configuration. So I didn't catch it first off. See, it came out of the box like that. But when I opened it and I closed it for the first time and I held it in my hand, it felt really familiar. And I couldn't figure out why at first. And then as I started playing with the tools, I realized, holy moly, this one is almost an exact replica of a Leatherman Wave. Not only in the tool set, but even in the quality. Like it's pretty good. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and pull out these external tools really quickly so you can see them. And just so you can see what we're working with there, we have a straight edge, we have a serrated edge, we have a file, we have a saw, all accessible while the tool is closed on the outside. Flip it over. The serrations are only on one side of the blade. You have, on your file, you have your standard wood file. Over here is a crosscut file. But 4 basic tools that you can access without even opening the thing. And if I compare that to my classic that I carried for years, my Leatherman Wave, I have a knife, I have a saw. Saw's not in the same position. I have a serrated edge. Look at that. So when I put them side by side, well, I can't really get them both in the frame. I'll do it like this. There you go. So I have a blade for a blade. I have a file for a file. I have a saw for a saw, and I have a serrated edge for a serrated edge. Not only that, look at the blade profile on this serrated blade and this serrated blade. The serrations are almost identical. The blade profile is identical. Looking at the saw to saw, the same finger divot for pulling out the tool. Almost the same hardware, same configuration. The only difference is the file's on top. Here, it's on the bottom there. This is a cross-cut file, and on the Wave, it actually has a diamond file. This one has the wood file, single stroke on one side, and cross-cut file on the other. So slight differences there, but overall, very much the same tool. That being said, let me close these tools on both of these. Let's get to the end, get to the primary tool, if you will. Here you have the SwissTech, here you have the Leatherman. The pliers are almost identical. This one has a little bit thinner profile than these here, but overall it's needle nose, it's standard pliers. You have a stationary wire cutters for stranded and solid. And then on the back side here, you have a crimping tool. On the back side here, on the regular Wave, you don't have a crimping tool, but on the Wave Plus, which I happen to have right over here, you do have that crimping tool. So it's kind of a combine between the two, Wave Plus, Wave, and this one. But you've got that crimping tool. First day that I had this, I used it to install a hanging mirror and a TV. Hanging TV on the wall. Worked great for those functions, everything except for a drill, which I had to use a drill for. But it was a solid tool for what I used it for. Let's get to the other tools really quickly. So you've got your Leatherman Wave scissors. Check out the scissors here. Check out the scissors here. Almost the same, like your thumb press is designed a little bit different, but not much. Overall, they both have a pair of scissors. These scissors are sharp. I've tested them. They work on both pieces. Close that out. We have a flat blade. We have a flat here. We have a flat here. Those are the same. Yep. We have a can opener. Closing that one. We have a can opener over here. Going to close that one. We have a number 2 Phillips screwdriver. This one has the interchangeable bits, but still it comes with a number 2 Phillips screwdriver. So I'm going to go ahead and close that one out. And you have a smaller, I think this is a 0, or it's not quite a 00, but you have a smaller screwdriver here. The Leatherman Wave obviously has this micro screwdriver that you can trade out the bit, Phillips or flat. But you still get a larger and a smaller Phillips head screwdriver on both models, which means the only major difference between these two tools, the one that cost almost $100 and the one that cost $50 from SwissTech, is this thing right here. And it is I guess you could say it's a pride tool, a flat head, and then a seatbelt cutter, or some would call it a gut hook. I don't know that I'd be using my multi-tool if I were in need of a gut hook per se. But I mean, if this is all that I had, I could do that with that there. I could also use either of the blades. So that's the only difference between these two tools, the only major difference. As far as the Wave, there's a little, when it's open, there's a little bit of wiggle here in the handle, but it feels solid in the hand. Same thing here on this SwissTech, there's a little bit of wiggle here, still feels solid in the hand. Similar profile as far as grip, rounded edges or chamfered edges so that it's not going to hurt you. This does give you your measuring tool, this one does not. But overall, I mean, for the value, and considering this was a gift, this has been on my hip for the last 3 days since Christmas, since I opened it up, and I actually kind of like it. So kudos to you, SwissTech, for making a solid tool at a decent price point. I don't know that you're ever going to take away Leatherman from me, but I will definitely use it. Again, I just got the Arc with the MagnaCut blade, and this is going to be my primary go-to. But for the time being, during the holidays, while my son's out of school, this thing's going to be on my hip every single day, and I'm using it, and I actually really like it. All right, so there you have it. The SwissTech Practice from Walmart, gift from my son, right here. About $50, solid in the hand, decent set of tools. The blade, you got serrated and flat, and the blade, I don't know, let me see. Yeah, here's a piece of paper. Note card. It is sharp. It comes out of the box very sharp, just like you would expect any other knife to be. Overall, I like it. There's a few tweaks as I've played with this that I'm gonna address, which I'll address in a different video in case you're wanting to go pick one of these up. I haven't made any changes to it yet, but I do plan on making a few revisions. Overall, for $50, Walmart, this is a decent tool. Go check it out.